Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Force Strategy Gaming. Time to take a look at some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we'll be taking a look at a series between Complexity's CatZ and Fnatic's NightEnd. We can see we are on the map Metalopolis here, NightEnd spawning in the 12 o'clock position as our blue Protoss player. And then down over here in the 6 o'clock is Complexity's CatZ as the yellow Zerg player. So yes, Protoss versus Zerg, NightEnd versus CatZ. Game number 1 here on Metalopolis. Gonna be very intrigued to see how this game ends up playing out. We can see, of course, they are spawning cross-positional here, and it does look like NightEnd actually moving down. And is he going to be going for a Forge Fast Expand? It appears to be the case. Dropping his pylon there on the low ground is going to allow him to come out with a Forge and a Gateway, work his way up into his natural expansion right there as well, protect himself early on with some cannons as well as sentries. We can also see NightEnd immediately moving straight on into the, it looks like the 3 o'clock position is where he'll be going first, and there in fact he is going, so we'll be moving right up into that 3 o'clock position right now, checking, and upon realizing that CatZ isn't there, we should be seeing him head on down to the 6 o'clock. You may ask why he didn't check that near spawn position. Well, it's not possible to spawn in that position on this particular map. So he knows, all right, so he knows that CatZ is either in at that 3 o'clock or that 6 o'clock. And again, after checking that 3, moving right on down to 6, and finally scouting out CatZ, we can see CatZ has decided to open up with some one-base plays, get that spawning pool up, actually going for that double extractor trick, and he's coming out with some 6 Zerglings. So some very, very early Zergling harass here from CatZ, and this is going to be incredibly effective, especially given the fact that we are seeing NightEnd come out with that Forge Fast Expand build. Immediately now, NightEnd has realized that this is coming, so he is kind of in panic mode right now. He needs to make sure that he gets up that cannon and is able to defend himself as quickly as possible. And let's see, the placement of the cannon will be right there. It's actually moving down with another worker as well now. He just really needs to protect this cannon, keep it up, and if he can prevent this Zergling harass early on from CatZ from doing any damage whatsoever, well then CatZ will be very far behind. So it's really coming down to NightEnd right now and whether or not he can defend these cannons. You can see that cannon is already almost finished right now. This really isn't looking too good for CatZ. We're going to be seeing a lot of workers pull down. Now this is a lot of mining downtime right now for NightEnd, and this could certainly prove to be a problem as well. But look at this. This is exactly what we needed. The cannon is now up, and he's going to be using those probes as a buffer, and the Zergling harass has gotten taken out. CatZ right now actually trapped down here with those 2 Zerglings. They have no way of leaving without actually losing their lives to those 2 photon cannons. So right now CatZ is kind of in a tough position, and what will he be deciding to do? High yield expansion looks like it's going to be the case. CatZ will be moving into this high yield expansion, trying to make up for the tremendous economic loss that he took, or the fact that he's so far behind economically in deciding to go for such an early pool. And again, we saw that double extractor trick. That's even more resources lost. Overall, as we can see here, CatZ hasn't lost as many resources total as opposed to what we have seen NightEnd lose, but still, economically speaking, NightEnd is in a very strong position in comparison to where CatZ is at the moment. We have a Gateway coming out right now as well here for NightEnd, so we'll be working his way up to that Cybernetics core, and again, just starting to try to get himself back on track here, as opposed to, you know, he was set a little bit behind, having to come out with that extra cannon very early on, and actually, is CatZ going to be able to sneak out those 2? He is, unbelievably. I really thought that cannon was within range, but no. CatZ was just barely able to sneak out those 2 Zerglings. Should be seeing him grab these Naga towers. Very important that he knows if NightEnd's going to be scouting out this high yield expansion or not. Now back over here for CatZ, what does he have going on? Well, he does have those 2 extractors fully saturated there at the natural, at that main expansion. As we can see, nothing at the natural, but again, that high yield expansion getting very close to finish. Now NightEnd does manage to scout that out with his scouting probe, so now he is aware of the fact that CatZ has moved into that high yield, so now it's really going to be up to him as to what he decides to do, how he decides to respond to this. And again, CatZ really far behind, and I'm actually a little bit surprised. I mean, obviously, we're gonna suggest that he stays in the game. It's not very wise to just up and leave the game, but still, he is so incredibly far behind. And this high yield expansion, very, very, very vulnerable. Just the position itself is incredibly vulnerable. And again, NightEnd is now fully aware of it. So once more, we'll just have to wait and see how he decides to respond, what he ends up deciding to do. 2 assimilators right now up at that main, and nothing yet at that natural expansion. Cybernetics core has has now just come in. See that Warp Gate research starting immediately. Right now, NightEnd's feeling pretty safe now. We won't be expecting any aggression from CatZ anytime in the relatively near future. He is just working to try to get his economy back on track. We can see that layer, though, just about finished right now for CatZ, so I will be interested to see what he decides to transition into. And again, this high yield expansion is certainly going to help him quite a bit in terms of resource gathering. One Zealot moving out towards that Xel'Naga tower will be killing that Zergling. As the Zergling going to be able to pull away? CatZ not paying enough attention, so losing the Zergling to the Zealot. But obviously right now with that Zealot, we will be having Fnatic's NightEnd getting that full vision as to what's going on in terms of any static defenses. As we can see again, we have got that Spine Crawler coming on through here for CatZ. Now that layer now just finished, and it looks like instantly we'll be seeing CatZ go right into that Spire. So we'll be going very quickly for some Mutalisk. We've got a lot more gateways coming out right now for NightEnd, and this is looking to be a very strong decision for him. He will be going out with a very strong gateway push sometime very soon. In fact, the level 1 weapons upgrades coming on out for NightEnd, and this push is going to be pretty devastating. I'm certainly not sure how CatZ will be able to defend against it, especially given the fact that he is going for Mutalisk, and if we see anything resembling Stalker Heavy here from NightEnd, those Mutas will get completely shredded. So this timing push that we are expecting NightEnd to move out with could be devastating, and could be way too much for CatZ to actually handle. A couple sentries early on to help NightEnd defend against any possible follow-up Zergling harass, but again, not going to be necessary. We do have that Spire now just finishing. Also a third expansion coming out at CatZ Natural right now, so moving on down to that now that he does have some nice saturation there. The high yield. The Spire has just popped, and let's take a look how many Mutas is he able to come out with right away. Actually, a little bit of supply block. That's a huge problem there for CatZ, and that's certainly something he cannot afford, because right at this very moment, NightEnd preparing to move towards that high yield expansion, and hopefully we do see CatZ come out with some more Spine Crawlers. He's going to need that. We've got a couple Zerglings coming out as well as those 8 Mutas. But here comes the push right now from NightEnd. He's getting ready to engage. Now we do have that proxy pylon just about finished. He'll be able to warp in units very close to the battle there. We've got some more Zealots coming in that direction as well. Now, unfortunately, though, NightEnd's given CatZ a little bit of time here to try to work up his forces. Really surprised. Okay, we got one more Spine Crawler coming up. I'm not sure if that is going to be enough, but here we go. The push is coming right now from NightEnd, going straight into that resource line. We got a couple more Zealots being warped in right there from that proxy pylon power. We've got the Stalkers moving in as well with those sentries, and it looks like CatZ will be losing this, and really not a whole lot he can do about it. In fact, not even trying to defend. We can see those Mutas right now moving out for a counterattack. So CatZ moving straight into the resource line right now of NightEnd, trying to do a little bit of damage. Is he going to get a few kills? He's got a few workers killed so far. The rest of them transferring on down to that natural expansion. Will be going straight for that pylon though, and oh my gosh, he'll be unpowering a lot of these gateways, and that's actually a problem right now. Oh my gosh, look at that. We've got these gateways plus that one, all of which are unpowered right now. And CatZ, that is unbelievable. Now the major concern though is here comes this very strong push from NightEnd. Can CatZ even defend against it? There's a force field preventing any reinforcements, also preventing those workers from being able to pull on back. Now these gateways are still unpowered, and CatZ will be doing what he can to try to make that stay the case. Cybernex Core though about to get taken out, and look at that, that expansion got taken out very quickly. So CatZ needs to just try to defend. This is going to be very problematic though, very difficult push to defend against. We have got another Cybernex Core actually being built right over here for NightEnd. The push preparing to move up into the main, and CatZ realizing that he needs to pull back to defend, or else he is just going to outright lose this game by losing his main base. And here's the very strong push. Mutas trying to engage, but again with that Guardian Shield gets taken out quickly. Are there enough Mutas to mop up the rest of these Stalkers? The Zealots continuing to chase down all of CatZ workers. CatZ does not have a lot left right now. He is able to mop up the rest of this push, trying to micro away his workers. Now just Mutas against Zealots, and obviously those Zealots not standing much of a chance. However, that Cybernex Core is now finished, so we can see some more Stalkers come into play. We are going to be seeing those gateways repowered very shortly. This layer getting dropped, even with those Mutas against it, the Zealots will chew through it so fast, and the layer gets taken out, and CatZ is left with almost nothing right now. In fact, he does not even have enough resources to rebuild his hatchery, so it looks like that is going to be the game. Unfortunately, we do have a few more Stalkers getting warped in. Although those Zealots will begin taken out. There we go. Finally, CatZ calling the GG, realizing there's really nothing he can do at this point. Very, very interesting game number 1. Alright guys, that was game number 1 here between CatZ and NightEnd. We will be moving on to game number 2 in just one moment. Hopefully you did enjoy the commentary. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.